Across to Darren McCaffrey, who's in Westminster for us. And Darren, as we can see from correspondence across the country, this evening has passed. It's not over yet, but seemingly so far passed without incident. We've just witnessed peaceful protests. We heard from the Home Secretary thanking the police for their efforts this evening and their policing methods. And certainly this does seem that Sir Keir Starmer's direction has won through.
Yeah, indeed, and that simple tweet, I think, from Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, kind of sums things up, where, as you rightly pointed out, she thanks police officers working tonight to protect and support local communities. I think there will be fundamentally relief within government about what has happened tonight, at least thus far, that we've not seen any widespread or, in fact, any real significant violence at all in any part of the country. There was clearly concern, Gillian. You know, I was in Downing Street last night where Keir Starmer held his second emergency Cobra meeting in the space of as many days, and the government were concerned that we could have seen large-scale violence tonight. That is why they made it clear that there were 6,000 specialist public order police officers prepared to be mobilised around the country. It is why they also made it clear that they had over 500 extra prison places made available for quick convictions and sentencing. So there will be relief. There may, in fact, actually be some criticism to a degree of the government that businesses have closed early, that people have had to leave work early, potentially needlessly, though the government would say they're being cautious. And Keir Starmer did repeatedly last night say that the primary function of his government were to protect communities. So, as I say, there will be relief within government tonight. But that is not to get away with some of kind of bigger issues at play here. First of all, is this the end, potentially, of these protests? Could they flare up again in the days to come? I mean, Martin Brunt, our crime correspondent, has been talking about concerns that the weekends could be another point that the police have kind of talked about. But also, you know, what is the underlying cause of these riots? Now, the government to date have been very clear and have had one message, that these are far-right thugs who essentially need to be dealt with as criminals, and that's how the government have approached this. Many, though, have wanted to see Parliament recalled. Many have wanted to talk about potentially the causes behind some of these protests. Clearly, some have turned violent. Others, though, have remained as protests, and people have turned up to peacefully protest, and immigration has been the heart of that. And will there be a wider discussion within government, within Parliament, within politics, about the concerns that some people legitimately do have? But as for tonight, as I say, the government will be relieved that there is little violence, if any at all, that things have passed off peacefully. Though it should be noted that Yvette Cooper did also, in her statement last night, while telling people not to take to the streets for the far right, not to indulge in violence, she did also suggest that these anti-racism protests, or these counter-demonstrations, if you like, should not take place, because she suggested that that stretches the police, and that it makes things policing more difficult, and that they should be left. Any demonstration should be left to the police. That clearly hasn't happened, but as I say, the absence of violence will be a relief to those in Number 10 and the Home Office this evening.